Hey guys, this is Andrew at Third Coast RC in Houston, and today I want to talk to you about this plane. This is the Flex Innovations Extra 300, the QQ Extra as they like to call it. This is a plane that's been out for a couple of years now, and the reason why I bought this plane was I wanted a plane that was easy to put together, that flew great, and I didn't have to mess about, and I wasn't worried about flying. You know, if I ditched it, if I crashed it, then I didn't have to worry about building another one. I wouldn't have to worry too much about the expense, and this plane really seemed to fit the bill. So let's talk about a few things with this plane. All right, it's very high quality. For the price, and the price is about $250 to $280 depending on whether you get the version with the lights in or not. And it's a full fuse plane, but it's kind of unusual because it's got kind of a plywood, balsa wood, carbon fiber internal skeleton, and then it's kind of like skinned in this. It feels almost like EPP foam, but it's not. It's like a cross between EPP and EPO foam. It's really quite cool, and it works really well. So that is that is the exterior of this plane. It comes with these nice decals on here, look great. Flex Innovation logo on the front, and it's got the Aura 8 information all over it. Comes with this propeller, comes in the kit, spinner, everything that you need to get flying, apart from a receiver and a radio is included. They also include a battery, a 3S 2200 Potenza 45C battery, which is a good battery. I've been flying it. It's strong. It's a good battery. So this plane checks in with a 48-inch, give or take a few millimeters, wingspan. 48-inch wingspan. Has a flying weight of 49 ounces. So that's just a smidge over 3 pounds. So it's light for a 48-inch plane. It's got a 4.3 square foot wing area, big wing area, so that gives 11.4 ounces per square foot on the wing loading, which is very light. Not as light as a foamy, but lighter than most 3D full fuse planes. With a 3S battery, it's pulling just short of 500 watts at full power on my watt meter. That's 44 amps, so that gives 162 watts per pound, which is plenty for a 3D plane. It's well over the 150 watts per pound threshold, so the power on it is no problem on 3S. And for a big plane like this, flying on 3S effectively, that's quite an achievement. So let's talk about the build. Well, the plane comes delivered to you in a big box. Box is right here, double boxed in this cardboard, and then a smaller box inside. It's all nice and neatly laid out. No problems with that. No problems with the shipping. Everything there. So the build is really easy. You know, that's part of the reason why I want to get this plane, because the build is so straightforward. You know, all you need to do, first thing you need to do is you get the fuse and all the parts out of the box, okay, and you put the landing gear on. The landing gear comes already put together, the wheels are together, the wheel pants are on, even these little fairings are on there, and you just push the landing gear in here. I used a little bit of hot glue in there as well to help it. They recommend silicone in the manual, and then you put the plate on, screw it on with those 4 screws. That's the landing gear. Then you do the tail gear, which is just 3 screws to put that on. You don't have to do anything else with it, just the 3 screws. Dead easy. And so then you got the wings. So the wings go on real easy. Let's talk about the stabilizer first. That goes on real easy, straight onto a carbon tube. You put them on, and then actually you don't glue them on. There actually is tape here, just tape, holding them on. But I tell you, it holds up, no problem with that I have not glued those on there, just held on, but they're snug fit on there. And then the wings, they go on real easy. There's just one carbon fiber tube that goes through the middle, and then you just work it until you line up these screws here. Very easy, no problems in getting the wings in. They're a little bit of a tight fit. You have to push and wiggle them just a little bit to get them to fit. Not like some planes where it can be, you're almost scared you're going to break the wing putting them in, and then you put the screw in, no problem. You put the side force generators on, which are really very easy to do. These glue on, you can use foam safe CA, or I actually used kind of welders type glue that I use for my EPP planes, but they're on there good and solid. And then the prop with the spinner, it's real easy. The motor's already mounted, just put it all on there. I tell you what, to build this plane, I could build this plane again in about 10 to 15 minutes. That's all it's going to take. So if I trash this one, it's going to take me about 15 minutes from getting a new one to being ready to fly. So let's talk about one of the things with this plane. It comes with the Aura 8 gyro system, and that gyro system is the part of the build, if you can call it part of the build, that took me the longest time. There's all different ways of setting up the gyro system, and they do a pretty good job in the manual of laying all that out, but I think they could have done a little bit better. So here is the Aura 8. Let's move it in the sun so we can see here. Here's the Aura 8. Here, that's the gyro, and we'll talk a little bit more about the gyro when I come on to flying characteristics. But there's three ways to connect this gyro up. You need your receiver. If you've got a modern receiver, a receiver with outputs like the Spectrum SRXLs, then you just need to run one wire from your output, your digital out on your receiver, to this port here on the Aura 8 that I'm not using on this one, and then you've got to run the ESC into your throttle channel of your receiver, and you're good. Turn the Aura 8 on and it should recognize everything. I did not have a digital out servo, like a lot of people do not. This is an older AR7000 that I'm using, and with this one, then what you have to do is the throttle just goes in the throttle channel. So the throttle comes from the ESC and goes into the throttle channel here. That's really straightforward, just like on a normal plane, but then it changes, yeah? The aileron output from the receiver goes into the S1 slot on the Aura 8. The elevator output goes in S2, the rudder goes in S3, the gear goes in S4, and the auxiliary, what I'm using, because this is a light one, that's where the light system comes in, and it goes onto auxiliary 3. Now the gear channel is going to be used for the free settings, the free flight modes of the Aura 8. So you have to make sure that on your radio you have the gear mapped to a 3-position switch, which is easy to do on a Spectrum. You can do it. If you've got any questions on how to do that, just message me. And then what happens then is then the actual input, the servo leads actually come into left aileron into S5, right aileron S6, elevator S7, and rudder S8. So basically your signals from your receiver go into the Aura 8, they pass through the Aura 8 and then go out to the servos. So they're processed between the receiver and your servos. The Aura 8 processes the signals and makes some small adjustments. So that was kind of complicated for me, and you know the most annoying thing is it does not come with the wires you need to do this. You need 4 or 5 of these male-to-male servo leads. It doesn't come with them, and that's kind of frustrating because it's like probably like $2 worth of leads, and that they should really come with them to give you that option, because otherwise you might have to wait 3 or 4 days for them to come through the mail if you don't have a local hobby shop. So that's a bit of a failing, I think, but it's nothing major. So flying, once you get to flying this, you've got 3 modes. Just going to show you inside in the battery hatch here, because the battery hatch on this plane is really cool. So let's take a look here. The battery hatch comes off. He's got this real cool spring system on here, spring loaded little catch, and you just go like that and it's on. It is one of the most simplest, best designed battery hatches I've ever seen. Doesn't come off in flight, no worries about that. And then inside here we have a tray. That Velcro was not on there, I added that. This strap is in here, and guess what? They did the strap right. Go figure. You can't lose the strap down through the little slot in the battery mounting tray. Like a lot of them, you lose it and then you have to fish around in the field to try and get it back. Don't have to worry about that. And then also, you can see in here that I had the light system. Move the plane just into the light a little bit so you can see. This is the light system. This has got the interior lights on it, the light kit. It's kind of annoying that it's in here with the battery bay, because it kind of gets in the way a little bit of you putting the batteries in. Kind of almost as an afterthought, kind of zip tied on here, and the zip tie comes loose, as you can see here. So that's not great, but it's not critical. And the batteries are powered from the little balancing lead on your. The lights are powered from the little balancing lead on your LiPo battery. So plenty of room in there for the stock 2200 or a little bit bigger battery. If you want to fly this plane on 4S, you can. Don't really know why you would, but because it performs plenty good on a 3S battery, no problem at all. So flying, it's got 3 modes. It's got mode 1, which you've now got set to that 3 position switch in your radio. Mode 1 is no gyro and about 40% throws on all the surfaces. Mode 2, gyro's engaged and same 40% throws. So on the ground it's going to look exactly the same, but it'll fly different. But the surfaces move the same amount. And mode 3 is gyro with 100% throws. That's what most people are going to be flying this plane on. The 3S power is plenty. You know, it pulls vertically, no problem. On the 2200s, I'm getting 5 minutes with about 66% discharge of the battery. I don't like to take the batteries further than about 75%, but 66% is discharge is fine. The plane is light. We already talked about that. Got a light wing loading. It's rock solid in the hover. Inverted, it was dead on. I didn't hardly have to trim this plane at all, and the balance and the CG with that 2200 is almost perfect. Harriers and rolling Harriers are straightforward to do with this plane, but you've got to have the skills. It's not going to fly 3D for you out of the box. You know, you've got to have the understanding of where you need to move the sticks on the controller to get the plane to do what it wants to do. But it is going to help you a little bit. It really does stabilize the plane to a certain extent. You really notice it more when you're flying when it's slightly windy, and then you can tell that you're flying with a gyro. The only time I've seen any sign of the gyro really affecting anything is when I'm coming from on a turn and then I level back out. It'll do a little reverberation like that, as it just a little shimmy almost as it levels back out but it stops. It does not over rotate. It stops immediately exactly where you put it, and it flies really, really good. I've been flying for a lot of years now. I've got flight log that I've been doing since day one, and I've flown over 60 different planes not all of them 3D, but this one, I tell you, it's good. I'm going to this plane every single day, and I got a 3D hobby shop plane back there, 59-inch slick, and this flies better than that. It flies better than my 3D hobby shop Viper Bike back there. It's just a great everyday go-to plane that you don't need to worry about too much, you know, crashing it or damaging it. You know, you can get back in the air for a relatively inexpensive cost, $250. It's still quite a lot of money, but you know, for other 3D planes like the equivalent full-on balsa planes like this that you have to build yourself and spend 2, 3, 4 evenings building, and they're gonna cost you, with all the equipment that you get in this plane, it's a good deal. It's not $500 that it costs you for those other planes. It's half that cost, and it's pretty much almost ready to fly. So that's a quick introduction to this plane. That's 16 minutes I've been talking now, guys. I hope I haven't bored you. I'm going to post another video in the next day or so of us at the field flying this plane. There's plenty of videos online of people who can fly it much better than I can. But still, we're going to follow up with a flying video. And I hope some of that information there does help you if you purchase this plane and you're trying just to set it up. I saw lots of build videos out there, which really takes no time at all, and you don't need a video to be able to build this plane. But setting up that system, that Aura 8 system, can be a little confusing. So like I say, got any questions, please reach out to me. And thank you for watching, and check out our Facebook page, our web page, and keep following us and subscribe on YouTube, Third Coast RC. Thank you. Bye.